The Urban Institute funded a study to see what exactly is happening with the underground sex industry. And what they found was, first of all, they can talk to people who are actually in that industry, people who have been committed of crimes within the industry. And one angle of their work focused solely on pimps and what they feel about the way that they're portrayed and what they do for a living. So what they found was 140 sex traffickers, pimps, child pornographers, and sex workers were interviewed for this study. So I talked to a bunch of people. And here's what the modern pimp thinks. In my mind, pimp is a derogatory word. Pimp is like the Tooth Fairy from the old 70s movies with big hats and big old chains. That's not me. So they feel like they're being judged by their physical appearance and what they do, and they're like, no, it's not like that at all. Don't pay attention to the movies. We're actually pretty classy guys.
Okay. I love that. Now, if anything is politically correct, this is it, right? Yeah. We've gotten to the point where pimps are offended at how they've been portrayed, when in fact the pimping community is much broader than that and better than that, okay?
Pimping community?
So they asked them, hey, what should we call you guys if we can't call you pimps, right? One of them was like, how about renegade? No, we're not going to call you renegade.
No. I love that quote. It's my favorite. I got to read it to you. What's happening now, it's nothing like what it's supposed to be like. It is just money for habits. I don't know if you heard of renegades. I think most are renegades now.
Wait a minute. It's just money for each. Like, I'm just engaged in this for money to support our drug habits? Is that what he's saying?
No, I think he's saying that the women need the money for their habits, and we're just trying to help, right?
Oh, they're renegades.
What does renegade have to do with any of that?
Yeah.
He might be misconstruing the word a little bit.
Now, pimps in the United States have standards compared to pimps in other countries.
Sure,
in fact, they're very judgmental about the pimps in Mexico. Here's what they say. Mexico is a different story. Those girls are being forced, took from their country, don't know the language. I know a girl who was locked in someone's house for a whole year, couldn't leave. Just had Johns coming in and going. How did they get there? Was the dude going out and finding them? None of the Johns had a big enough heart to see you were trapped and don't do nothing. So
I'm having trouble following his logic. To be honest,
So
So look, I get it. Some situations are far worse, right? And as you hear that story, you're like, oh. But this guy's like saying, no, I got morals. I'm the right kind of pimp, right? But then you read later on, and not necessarily that guy, but in the study, guys talking about like, no, I mean, I don't always keep them here by force. It's often by psychological manipulation.
Oh, sure.
Okay, you see how they're much better than the Mexican pimps.
Right, yeah.
Right, and so, and they wanted to draw that distinction.
I like the term modern pimp.
Yeah.
And I think Modern Pimp would make a terrific magazine. I just got my Modern Pimp, and I'm this distinction between the old-time pimps, which are we talking about like the ones portrayed in 70s films where they're really flamboyant and have is that what they're offended by that
they
image?
Are offended by that, and they really feel like
that is
they've
propagated
been
by every, and you see it in the entire rapping community appropriates certain. Like the chains, the fur, the flamboyant attitude, that seems to be, that's been appropriated in all of fashion now. I mean, like...
They should be proud.
They kind of had an influence on fashion and culture. And
Some of them talk about
pimps.
how they were actually recruited into pimping by prostitutes.
Oh, poor them.
Because... No, well, not for them. No one's saying that.
Yeah, no, but I think that they're trying to excuse their behavior by saying that.
Well, they try to excuse their behavior throughout this entire survey. And remember, I mean, there's a ton of bias in here because it's based on self-reporting. Of course, they're going to make themselves seem like they're great. I'm actually surprised that some of them admitted to psychological manipulation. But it's good that they did because at least they're somewhat self-aware.
Your heart wasn't warmed by this story? She asked me, will you be my pimp? And I said, I ain't no pimp, but I will look out for you, though.
For a fee. And
Right,
if you have
for a
anyone
cut.
else look out for you,
Right.
I will hurt you, but not as significantly as Mexican pimps.
Right, and not so significantly that men still won't pay to fuck you.
I'm going to look out for you now. Now you get out there and blow as many random guys as you can. And when you come back, I'll look after you.
Yeah, assuming that you give me
Got it?
like half of the money you made.
All right. Go to work.
So,
I got your back.
That's right.
So apparently there's a lot of racism in the sex industry as well. And they say things like, they have a saying in the pimp game, if it ain't white, it ain't
decade game, please.
Don't disparage the modern pimp.
If it ain't white, it ain't right. If it ain't snowing, I ain't going.
What's
That's
that mean?
fucking terrible.
So, like, that means that you got to have white hookers because apparently they think black hookers are not as valuable.
If it
Okay.
ain't snowing, I ain't going. How could blowing not be in that phrase?
There's a missed opportunity.
Really blowing.
That's right.
The modern pimp is no poet.
Got to do much better.
But there's racism all around because a lot of times the pimps won't allow their workers to have sex with black men. They talk very openly about that because they're worried that the black men are going to hurt their prostitutes, which is fascinating that they think that way.
And they think some of the other black men are actually pimps disguised as Johns, and they will take away their girls from them. So they say, no, only have white clientele, but don't have black clientele. I mean, the layers of racism and absurdity in this story are awesome, because the guy who says, I'm offended you would call me a pimp, then says, no, don't fuck the black guys.
Right.
Okay, only the white guys, because all the black guys might be pimps. And whatever you do, don't compare me to a Mexican pimp.